I'm going to keep my remarks very brief. I do have a suggested campaign slogan for John Bell, a different Edwards of New Louisiana. I think that would be a very catchy campaign slogan for him. I've suggested that to him, but I don't think he's too warmed up to it yet, but maybe he will. I would like to say a couple of things. I do have Louisiana Voice, which is a web blog it's online. It's a political web blog. Mine and Bob Mann's web blog, something like The Truth, were chosen as two of the top 100 political web blogs in the nation by the Washington Post earlier this year. We're very proud of that. And Bob Mann is an excellent journalist, and he's worked very closely with the Democratic Party for his entire adult life. One thing I would like to say about John White, our Superintendent of Education, if John White is qualified to run Louisiana schools and to evaluate Louisiana teachers, then I'm qualified to tell Drew Brees how to throw a football. End of story. I think that's all that needs to be said about John White. He comes to us thanks to Booby Jihad, our esteemed governor. I've referred to him that way a couple of times. Some people take umbrage at that. I call him Paiush. I had some bumper stickers. I meant to bring them today to pass them out. It was pi, the Greek letter pi, yush, equals 3.14 on a scale of 100. And I forgot to bring them with me. I have about 1,000 of them. I was going to give them away. So they're just taking up space in my office. But I'd like to point out some of the things that Mr. Jindal has done in the way of campaign finance, because I think this is very important, because money does run elections. $30,000 of the money that he's received come from an attorney down in Florida, in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, that is in prison right now for running the largest Ponzi scheme in the history of Florida, $1.4 billion with a B, that he swindled investors out of. He gave $30,000 to Jindal. Jindal announced that he was going to return the money to the Victims Fund. Instead, he gave it to the Baton Rouge Food Bank, which is good, but he didn't give it to the Victims Fund. He took $55,000 from a banker here in St. Tammany Parish. The president of the bank awarded on paper bonuses of $5,000 each to 11 board members, but he neglected to tell the board members, and he issued 11 $5,000 checks to Governor Jindal in each board member's name without their knowledge or consent. Jindal has refused to give that money back. These are some of the things that our transparent and ethical governor has done. And this is what I do on Louisiana Voice. The latest boondoggle, going back to John White, and I'd like to bring this to your attention because it's on the post that I put up last night. It's the latest post online. His course choice program. It's a computerized education course that just anybody that has something to teach apparently can be approved, such as the True Life School up in Ruston, whatever the name of it is. They got 315 vouchers, and they don't even have a classroom or computers or teachers or desk, but he got 315 vouchers. It's since been rescinded because of all the negative publicity surrounding that award. But course choice is run by a good old Lefty Lefkowitz. He happens to be from Los Angeles, and he commutes back and forth from Los Angeles to Baton Rouge. He doesn't even live in Louisiana. He lives in Los Angeles on weekends, comes in here on Sunday night, leaves Friday morning to go back to Los Angeles, and he's in charge of the course choice program. Now, course choice, they've approved many providers. I call them vendors. He calls them providers, providing these courses. It's just come to the attention of the public thanks to a reporter at the Monroe News Star who's very diligent and she works very hard. She had this story last night, and I picked it up and reposted it on my blog. A lot of athletes, college athletes in Louisiana, Southeastern, ULL, ULM in Monroe, Northwestern, LSU, Louisiana Tech, Grambling, Southern, a lot of the athletes are not academically eligible when they come to the schools, and they have to become athletically eligible before they can participate in sports. So a lot of these students took these online courses through course choice to become academically eligible. I said athletically eligible, I meant academically eligible. And they took these courses online to become academically eligible. Well, it's just come to the attention of the public last night, thanks to the Monroe News Star and now Louisiana Voice, that of the 21 providers that provide those courses, 19 of them are not approved by the NCAA. What this means is a lot of football players in college in Louisiana today who are participating in academic sports in football may be ruled ineligible. And if that's the case, the schools will have to forfeit any wins that they've got on the playing field. And bringing that home to our flagship university, LSU, is won now, 6 games? If some of those students on the LSU football team are found to have taken these courses and are subsequently ruled ineligible by the NCAA, LSU will have to forfeit every one of those games. If that happens, that just might be the thing it takes to get rid of John White. So I have mixed emotions about that. But nevertheless, that's some of the things that John White has done, and he's the man that Bobby Jindal put in place. So I would encourage you to keep informed. Quit watching Dancing with the Stars. Quit watching American Idol. Start keeping up with what's going on in your state. Start supporting Democratic candidates like John Bell Edwards, who have the interests of the state at heart, that do not travel all over the country doing fundraisers for the National Republican Party and running for president. So Louisiana Voice, you can Google it, just Louisiana Voice. The web address is louisianavoice.com. But I would encourage you to read that. I would encourage you to read Bob Mann's Something Like the Truth. And I would encourage you to read the Monroe News Star online. The Baton Rouge Advocate, I'm sorry, is doing a terrible job. The Capitol Bureau, the Morning Advocate, I have a friend who works for the Division of Administration who refers to the Baton Rouge Advocate's Capitol Bureau as Press Release Central, because that's all they do. They take press releases and rerun them. They don't question a thing. And the job of the press, of the media, is to question. Question, question, question. Never accept what a politician says. Listen to what they don't say. That's key. That's important. Listen to what they don't say. And another thing, that I try to, when I talk to journalism classes, I always tell them, ask one more question. One more question. Be like Columbo. One more thing, and never ask the last question. Keep asking, keep reading. Thank you very much.